sweeties, how are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim, and thank you all so much for the support. You are very sweet. So today we'll be talking something very important, and it's about a video going around TikTok about New York trying to set up a commission to consider reparations for slavery. And I am going to say that it's been long overdue, this reparation thing, it's been long overdue. I am expecting by now that they have already they are done with setting up commission, and what they are planning to do is just to pay off the reparations. And I think that this is not sitting well with a lot of people, especially this Asian woman who actually said that there are so many things that they need money to do, and why is Caddy trying to use the money to pay reparations when there are so many less privileges and people are not living very well? And she was like, even the people that they are giving the money are not direct descendant of slavery. Why do they want to pay reparations? Some people also think that the caddy of a woman is also trying to use that reparations to get black vote, because she already see that she is losing votes because she is supporting AIPAC and what is going on in Israel. So that she is trying to use this to get black votes. And I am saying, let her pay the reparations first. Black people will decide whom to vote. You are not going to also lure them in to vote for you because of reparation. But that check is more than, sincerely speaking, that check is long overdue. So they should cut it. Let's get into this video.
So this is what Kathy Hochul is focused on. She's worried about people who probably are not even direct descendants of slavery. Meanwhile, New York State is poor as hell, people are leaving, and crime is at an all-time high. Kathy, focus your shift somewhere else, sis.
Now New York is the newest state to set up a commission to consider reparations for slavery.
More than 400 years ago, the first slaves were violently kidnapped, stolen from their families and their homes. They were brought in chains to the shores of what eventually becomes the United States of America. And these enslaved peoples literally built much of our nation with their sweat, their blood, their sorrow. Right over here, we have a statue of Thomas Jefferson. He wrote the Declaration of Independence. At the same time, he owned over 600 slaves. New York has long been the center of American commerce, Wall Street, banking, shipping, insurance, the economic engines of our entire country. And they thrived because they can trade in commodities that were produced by slaves. And there was a slave market. Yes, here in New York, there was a slave market where people bought and sold other human beings with callous disregard. And it happened right on Wall Street for more than a century. And even though it officially closed when slavery was abolished in New York in 1827, our state still remained a dominant player in the illegal slave trade. The practice continued, and our financial and business institutions prospered. In a few minutes, I'll sign a bill authorizing the creation of a community commission to study the history of slavery in New York State. We'll study various forms of reparations and how we can help right the wrongs of the past.
If they truly did pay out reparations, we should know that this would be an automatic civil war, because the descendants of the slave owners don't truly believe that they're responsible and that they benefited from slavery, okay? And this would also mean that the descendants of the slaves would have more money than them, and that will cause a civil war, okay? But what is reparations? It's the making of amends for a wrong one has done by paying money to or otherwise helping those who have been wrong. Now, what is money by definition? A current medium of exchange in the form of coins and banknotes. Coins and banknotes, okay? So reparations does not fit in prophecy. Even if they were given land, that don't fit within prophecy, because one group, the 2/3, want reparations, fake money, and land, and they want to stay here. A lot of them believe that they are aboriginal to this land, but we know prophecy says a group came over on slave ship. A group went into captivity by means of slave ships, okay? So we're speaking of those who came over here on slave ships. True repair is to be redeemed, be delivered back to the land that they came from, and to leave with great substance. What is substance? Substance meaning tangible items such as gold, silver, livestock, great possessions, okay? And the 1/3 wants to be delivered out of this land and taken back to where they came from. That's the difference between the 1/3 and the 2/3. Now, New York is the newest state to set up a commission to consider reparations.
This is music to my ears because just this month, in December the 5th of 2023, I released this album, and I think it has about 9 tracks on it. And this was like a small album, and I pretty much talked about the title of the track is Reparations. I even have a lyric of a vocal lyric saying reparations and how we should demand and be consistent about it and not stop it and allow it to be established of reparations. You can see this on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all streaming platforms of music. My name is Black Pearl, in case you guys want to know. I just want to give a special thanks to the governor, Kathy Hochul. I always say some derogatory things about her, but apparently she actually listened, and to a lot of people, I guess, on the social media app, and even people that, because previously before there was petitions, believe it or not, where people was asking, when you had vote, they had asked, there was a question in there that asked you if you should demand for reparations. And I guess everybody had, selected yes. And, people were disputing it with the situation when California was coming with reparations. We wasn't really disputing it. We was happy for them. And we wish that it went across the board, all states of America, because honestly, that is something that has to be duly compensated to people who basically had, family members that were forced to slavery, because the mental and the physical cruelty, and also with racial discrimination, including the massacres that was taking place in this country here. We had a map that had every part of America almost that went through racial tension of mass destruction of riots, and they were never compensated. We have a woman, we call her Mother Ford. She wrote the book that says, "Do Not Bury My Story." And she came, not begging, but she came to tell her story about what happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma. There was another place in Texas that I heard recently, that not recently, but it happened a long time ago, where they were basically coming with an angry lynch mob, and they were attacking the people and shooting them to death. Okay, and they didn't get any reparations. Louisiana, Mississippi, Rosewood, and there's historical places where people are fighting to keep their land. So I think that this is an imperative thing, even though it's taking place in New York State, and there's land in New York State that had Indian territories and grounds, and also where slaves were originally found, including Long Island, Westchester, all the Bay areas of New York, and which is NYC. So, and even if you went to Wall Street, I remember the time when they were looking at artifacts that was taking place in Wall Street, and they found that they had chains and bones, fragments in Wall Street. So they were doing auction blocks taking place there. That was a long time ago. That was during one of the administrations of the mayor, and they discovered this. Archaeologists and people who specialize in looking in graves and stuff, geologists and so forth, they found it right up here in New York. And this New York was supposed to be a state where, most of the slaves was running away, but they had slaves still here, But moving right along, I just want to give a special thanks to Senator Sandra James, because he basically was starting this movement and pressing this law. And he wanted this law to be established for a very long time, even during the Trump administration. And Trump never gave him the green light about it. Trump basically closed the door on him. But he was insistent, even during the civil rights movement, when they were fighting for equality, they were also fighting for reparations too. You guys need to reach that out. There's so many things that have happened tragically to Native, Indigenous, and Native Blacks, okay? But I hope when the requirements come, it's not going to fit the description of every Native person that's born, because some Natives come from other type of descendants, like from the West Indies, South America, even though they have even though they have people from descendants of Africa who were slaves back in the time. But here's the thing. Since United States and even New York is starting to fight for this, and they came up with a law, people in Jamaica, Barbados is doing it. Y'all need to join the torch with them and have a stronger united front, because this situation is not only reparations, but it's also helping the cry of your ancestors. Don't you hear your ancestors are calling you? Don't you hear the sound of your ancestors with the rusted chains that they had, with all the stuff that they had to went through, the trenches that they had to go under just to get freedom? I think when you guys are talking about all the foolishness that's going on, you should stop and think and say, you know what? I think that we need to get reparations, especially from people from Jamaica, West Indies. Y'all were talking about it, but you guys stop. But you guys have to encourage, if you want encouragement, come and listen to my song, Reparations, Release. We need to have reparations. We demand reparations. It's imperative to have a reparation. We got to have this door to open. Even the doors that was closed, we just have to tear down those doors metaphorically, not physically. You understand? So, change is coming, and we need a new day. We need a new dawn, a new light, a new manifestation. So we need to get our reparations. This is Black Pearl giving the encouragement to everybody in all 50 states in the domestic of the United States to fight for your reparations. Contact your senators. Contact every lawmakers, and the people from Mississippi should be demanding reparations, because, and even if your senator don't want to do it, take it to the White House. Who knows? Biden, put on your light bulb on, and who knows? Come out and make it to be a federal thing that African Americans and people who are natively born here in America are Black and brown, which was indigenous, to fight for their reparations. Who knows? Your polls can go up. And make sure that when you make this law, make the law stick and be effective, where once they do the careful research, you give the people them their reparations. Okay? Reparations is imperative to have a reparation. People from the Caribbean, Jamaica, I'm going to still keep on insisting for y'all to get your reparations. People from Trinidad, all over the diaspora of the Caribbean, not only to get your reparations, to have your full sovereign of independence, to be free. To be free, not to speak it, but to believe it and to have it, to live free.
Now, y'all know I was going to talk about this. Y'all know I was going to talk about this. So, let's Kathy Hochul, right? Kathy Hochul has been exposed this past year as a pro-Zionist politician, an AIPAC politician. And since the Gaza genocide has been happening, she's been very active about speaking for genocide, basically, and using her influence and stuff like that, including using her sources and resources to try to silence any pro-Palestinian people who are speaking up against genocide. She has been one of the biggest voices since the October 7th conflict has begun. And she's really kind of exposed herself as the Zionist that she is. You know what I mean? And her and several others, but she's been one of the big ones. And we're talking about her right now, specifically. And ever since she's kind of been exposed about her pro-Israel stance, and obviously she's getting all that Israel money, she's been losing a lot of supporters. Don't forget, there's an election coming up for New York as well, right? She hasn't officially, she replaced the former governor, Andrew Cuomo. So she kind of just replaced him. So she's going to have an official re-election coming up. And she's losing support. And in particular, she's losing people of color. But this happened today, right? This happened today. So this just feels dirty. It feels icky. It feels, and let me tell you why. Because we in the Black community have been advocating very loudly for reparations. Our families should be getting reparations for all the work and hard work that has been done to build up America what it is, because without slaves, there would not be an American economy. Let's be real. All this popping in America is because of slavery. It's been built on the back of enslaved people. So reparations has been a big thing. But now that Kathy Hochul comes out and says New York will set up a commission to consider reparations for slavery. Consider. They're talking about she signed to consider reparations. It just feels dirty, y'all. It feels so. It feels dirty. It feels like. Don't y'all fall for that, bro. Don't do it. Who's running up against her? That's what I want to know. Don't look, bro. Like, you ain't gonna use us for your Zionist agenda. We're getting sick of this, bro. Like, we're getting sick of this. Consider, like, so basically, we're not good enough to even use to actually implement it. That's what I'm hearing. Because by time what's the time period on the consider? Like, how long is that going to take? That's going to take enough time for you to get out of office, probably. You're going to do your term by the time they're done considering to figure out how they're going to consider that they're going to pay any reparations. It's just so dirty, like, bro, like, let's not fall for that, black people. Like, okay, we are owed this. We absolutely need to be having reparations. There are a lot of groups in America that are already receiving reparations. Black people are one group that has not yet received any type of compensation, reparations, or any kind of improvement amongst the communities of the black Americans in this country. But she wants to sign. Oh, she's losing black votes, right? Left and right, she's losing black people because black people don't like what's going on in Gaza. Overall, black people don't like what's happening in Gaza. Black people are a big part of the Democratic Party in New York. Is that Al Sharpton? I know his ass ain't. Well, that's a whole nother video. We need to find out who she's running against, because this is just a political act to win back her black supporters that she lost, pulling stuff like this. We talk about a communist government, right? This is communism. Like, this is not a democracy, y'all. This is not. Damn. It just feels dirty, bro. The number one issue in the black community is reparation.
So this is all I got from this video, and whether she's trying to get black votes and all that, black people will still take their reparations and still not pay for her. And let her pay for reparations because it's long overdue. I don't know if she's just trying to use it to gather votes or something, but man, I think the reparation is long overdue. And if she is evil, let her evil be with her. But that reparations should be paid. And I don't have to tell you what to do. If she pays the reparations, if you're going to vote for her and all that. According to the black man saying that she is all evil, that she is trying to use her votes to get black people. She's trying to use the reparation to get black people to pay, to vote for her. And I want to ask, why is it that, like other people, aside from black people asking for reparations, when they hear that black people are asking for their reparations and they see that black people are going to be paid their reparations, why is it that other people are very angry and mad and always asking, why is it that, why do they need reparations when they are not the people that are, or where they were not the slaves, because that is how they always say it, that they were not the slaves. Why do you want to pay reparations? Instead of paying reparations, why not use the money to fix everything going on in America or something. But I am saying, if you have that mindset, especially if you are a person of color, I think you are just very jealous and being mean, you know. Because if you tell me that there is no need to fix what they did, reparation means to fix, right? To repair. So if you think that there is no need for them to repair what they have done to African Americans till this very moment, you are also part of the problem. You are just very jealous that Black people are going to get that money and probably become better than you all, because that has always been one of the motives behind them not wanting to pay the reparations. They don't want the reparations to be paid to Black people so that they don't live better lives, so that they don't look better, excuse me, so they don't look better than them. You are also part of the problem, because all the things African Americans, all the things Black people built till this very moment, you all are still benefiting from it. And now they are talking about fixing what they did. I mean, taking them from where they are, bringing them over there, maltreating them, and letting them work for free, building everywhere, and you all are still enjoying it, and you think there is no need for reparations. You are a very bad person, and I won't stop saying it. So whether Cardi is trying to use it to gather vote and let her pay the reparations first, then Black people will decide whom to vote and whom not to vote. I mean, let them cut that check. Has it not been long overdue? It's really been long overdue. So yeah, see you all in my next video. Bye for now.